Most underrated factor. This is where I think whenever I'm having coaching discussions, this is where people have the most aha moments in picking winners. Most people just focus on getting competent. Some people focus on visibility, but picking winners has, what I've noticed is, has had disproportionate returns for my mentees. Let's start with a quick question. You are working in a company, early stage or late stage, right? In a high leverage role, right? Is it just like being an investor in that company, right? Is it that you are investing your time while the investors are investing their money? Is it true or false? I want to get a quick pulse from the group around what do you guys think. Let's react to the Slack with heart if you feel this is true, party popper if it is false. Just want to get a sense of what people think about this. Working at a company, the mindset is you are being an investor. Investors are investing their time, but you are investing your investors are investing their money, but while you are investing your time. Is this true or false? Because this is a key differentiator in how you approach your career. Most people say this is true. This is again a contrarian view. I think this is false. You should not approach your career as if you're an investor in the company. The reason being, the primary difference is, for an investor, there is a portfolio of company. If a company succeeds or fails, they have other bets based on which they can recover their money, make profits. But if you are as an employee, you hardly have 5 to 7 companies in your profile if you are a 20-year career, right? So don't think of it as you are working as an investor. You should be thinking in bets a lot more than investing your time. Picking the place, deciding whether to continue in that company. While every company wants to inculcate that ownership mindset, having too much of an ownership mindset can hurt your career if you're not thinking in bets. This is a counterintuitive thing. Most people, I have fallen for this myself, but if you look at it from the mindset of, hey, I have very few bets that I can place. I want to maximize success in my career. I need to maximize the outcome of a bet being successful. So I need to cut my losses early. I need to be prudent in my investment thesis about this role that I have, right? Let's take another example, right? Sam is a VP of engineering at a small startup. It's number 4 in market and is growing slowly. He feels the talent is mediocre. Next 10-year goal for Sam is that he wants to achieve financial independence. He now has out of the blue an offer from Stripe, but it is a big down level, right? He was a VP engineering there. Now it's a engineering manager role. Should Sam take this role? Take it, no, wait for something else. What do you guys think? The biggest challenge is like it's a big down level. Should Sam take this role? Yes, most people are saying this. It's a good. So you can't predict everything, but you are taking a bet. Is this a good bet or not? Go to how to shortlist companies, right? So before we go here, I want to give you a framework around tiers, right? Tier 4 examples being Wells Fargo, Infosys. Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 1, and generational, right? Most people intuitively get this. Tier 1 is where the biggest factor I'm taking is the talent quality, because talent quality is a big function of, is a biggest factor of company success, right? Stripe being a Tier 1 probably is a good idea, even if it is a down level. Most people probably are aware of the levels.fyi, which probably helps you map the current level you are in and current title at the current company to the new company. With tiers and the leveling across companies, you can probably make an educated guess around, more informed guess around, is this a good offer or not? I think these are clear. I'm also adding this generational company. Let's define what is a generational company. Generational company is a current Tier 1 company that has the biggest influence on how the industry is adopting their style, right? So the criteria is they have had big financial success and they have transparency of how they operate internally. Other companies are trying to copy their operating model. In my mind, are like Amazon and Tesla, right? Amazon being like, I think Microsoft used to be this before Google became the generational company. And Amazon, even though it has been in the market for so long, only now the internal mechanisms, internal operating model of Amazon is getting out in the wild because of books like Working Backwards. And most startups are intentionally trying to copy Amazon working models. Like, for example, many startups are adopting the PRFAQ style of working backwards from the customer. Right, customer obsession is something that many companies are trying to intentionally copy. One of the reasons my startup hired me was because of my Amazon background. So that was very clear from the loop. Like, they were really honing in on, can this person bring and help us operate like Amazon? Right, that is the thing. So Tesla, in manufacturing, I think they are completely redefining how manufacturing is done. They're reducing cost of car production by 50%, but their models, their internal operating secret sauce is not out in the public. Amazon's secret sauce is out in the public because of books that are getting published, right? In terms of capturing the attention, OpenAI is capturing the generational attention. I think it has the potential there. This is like a moment in time, right? It started off with Microsoft as the OG when the software revolution started, then Google, then maybe even before Microsoft, it was Cisco, where networking, Cisco used to be the generational company back then, right? So it changes with time. You need to understand what is where are the current winds. Why company tiers matter a lot, right? 4 reasons. Competence, it signals by definition, if a tier 1, you are a top 10% talent, it's an automatic signaling that you are top 10%, right? Credibility, discoverability, this is a big factor for inbound, right? When you are getting, last week we talked about how do you put yourself in a place where opportunities get thrown at you, right? How do you position that? Having a tier 1 or a generational company gives you that. Opportunities come flowing to you. And hiring decisions, given 2 equal candidates, someone with a higher tier company gets the benefit of the bias. So discoverability is a big factor when inbound. Most recruiters, you can call it lazy, but they have explicit criteria they select. So you are not even getting inbounds for high leverage opportunities if you don't have that in your profile, right? Thinking in terms of bets around when you are switching, having at least one tier 1 or generational company would be a big advantage to your career. General patterns about the tiers. As you go down in tiers, right, you will have greater scope in terms of people scope, right? You will manage more people. You will get bigger titles as you go down the tiers. Less pressure, slow velocity, and it's more crowded, right? So what that means is, in Sam's example, he is getting a smaller title because of this reason, right? So the other pattern to observe is when you go up the tiers, you are getting more new opportunities. You're getting higher velocity, smaller teams, better products. You'll often be down leveled as you go up the tier, and higher long-term comp. What criteria do I use and recommend people when they are shortlisting, right? So at least start with cast a big wide net. What I see most commonly done is like you have 1 or 2 target companies and you are not casting a wide net. Optimize for talent, because you learn by osmosis, you learn by the network that you build. Most valuable asset you probably can build out of a company is the network and friends that you make there. Optimize for high growth rate in a growing market, in a domain that I'm open to, right? This can be different for you in a domain that I'm passionate about. Maybe that's a criteria that you need to add, but that might shrink your initial target list.